gone through some rotten tomatoes in the past, you know. I know how it is approaching guys. I know how it is rejecting guys too. Beautiful women wonder why men don't approach them anymore.
There's a really interesting trend at the moment of very attractive women
Also trending.
complaining that
Parents
men are
scared
no
them
longer
off.
approaching them. And I find this absolutely fascinating. So, when I was
Not
a young
worth
man,
it. Because
I only
women
plucked
don't
up the
want
courage to actually
someone
just
like
walk
me.
up to a random woman on the street once because she was really attractive.
It's hard to find them these days, and I think women are also setting the bar pretty high, too high. I don't know what's wrong with women, you know, because I see it on TikTok and I see it everywhere that women going around, oh, you have to have 6-figure income, you have to have this, you have to have that. And if you don't have that, you're not good enough. And at the same time, they're complaining they can't get anyone. And I'm just like, dudes, what the fuck? Are you making a 6-figure income?
As this woman says, catcalling her. Let's listen.
Tell me why every day I go out looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening.
Tits bouncing? Say no more. I come running afterward. And then it's be like, oh my god, Juju, stop chasing me. I'm getting chased by a pervert.
Ever. Oh my god.
It's sad
like,
times,
please.
guys.
I'll take a fucking construction worker catcall at this point.
Many women, not all of them, spent the majority of the 2010s bitching about rape culture and misogyny and catcalling and Me Too, and now mad that young men aren't comfortable approaching them. You created the problem. I don't think it's just young men, although I think the age thing is an interest.
I mean, this happened before the Me Too came out. Definitely didn't make it better by telling the world, like, oh, hashtag Me Too, he touched my booty and he should be reported by the police, you know. I think it happened before Me Too that women tend to reject men in the most cruel way, right?
The feminism of the 2010s. And this, I think, genuinely has had effects. I mean, you know, Me Too,
definitely did have
hysteria
effect.
about catcalling and misogyny and
Yes.
rape culture and all that sort of stuff.
Because this was outrageous. I remember when this happened, like everyone went out like, oh my god, I got that on my butt 10 years ago and now I'm making a big fuss out of it. That's the thing, guys. As a woman, I can only tell you, I have been in a situation, especially being a bartender, it is a very flirty, very sexy, and there are drunk men, and yes, they touch you inappropriate. They will. People on alcohol will do silly things, believe it or not. So yeah, people have grabbed me onto my boobs and butts and called me like names and shit like that. But every time this happened, and now listen closely, I turned around and I told them off instantly, like straight away, like on like, dude, this is not okay. Stop it. And most of them went like, oh, I am so sorry. Oh, okay, sorry, this will never happen again. So instantly I turned around and went like, this is as far as you go and no further, right? And keeping it decent, right? But what I didn't understand with the hashtag Me Too was that people all of a sudden, 10 years after it happened, like, oh my God, I got sexually, I don't know, my boss were acting sexually inappropriate with me, like laying his hand on my thighs and shit like that. And now you're tweeting about it 10 years later? Why didn't you do something at the time it was occurring? Why didn't you do something about it then? Why are you joining in on a trend and bashing in on a guy and ruining his career and speaking out about it now? Why didn't you do it like 15 years ago when it happened? I mean, it's easy for me to say I am in a happy relationship and I have been so in the past 8 years. I've gone through some rotten tomatoes in the past, you know. I know how it is approaching guys. I know how it is rejecting guys too. I never had these wild expectation that you have to bring this to the table to be with me. I found the man I love because we are best friends. We have common interests. We get along. I like to listen to him. He understands me. He tolerates my behavior once a month, you know. He puts up with that shit. And for me, that's enough. And we've gone through highs and lows together. I mean, we were homeless together where we're sleeping in a car. Now we live in a beautiful house with a beautiful garden. So, I mean, it's ups and downs. downs all the time, and I don't know, and it's only working because we're working on it together, right? I don't put any demands on him, he don't put any demands on me. I have days where my hair is all fuzzy and I look like shit, and he still tells me he loves me, right? So I think we have too high expectations of finding a partner. I think most men want to find a partner to settle down and start a family with. And women, they have a completely different idea of what they want. They want to have luxurious life, a guy taking care of everything. But what's the worst that could happen, you know? That's why I think, like, I've never been shy, so I don't know. But if you're shy, I ask myself all the time, if you're shy, what's the worst that can happen? But then again, I remember, yeah, you can be called a for following someone and wanting their phone number. I mean, shit like that happened, right? So, yeah, I guess I withdraw that question. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. Quite worse things can happen. Fear of life, ruination. Yeah. This is what happened. This is like people don't date each other and rather sit at home because women fucked it up, right? And boys are going like, no, I am not gonna risk it. I think for me, it was always that I never really searched a partner. It just happened. You're onto something, hubby, because if you search for something, chances are you never find it. It's like going to a secondhand store with the anticipation that I'm going to buy myself a pair of blue jeans. Well, chances are the secondhand shop doesn't have blue jeans. But today, you just go into a secondhand store and go like, yeah, I'm not really looking for something particular. I'm just browsing around, and there they are, the perfect blue jeans, just right there. So I think the more you look for something, the chances are you're gonna miss out on what you actually need. And honestly, I've never been in this dating scene, right? Where I meet a bunch of guys, we go out for dinner, we talk, you see if you connect, and then something leads to something, or maybe not. I've never done this. This is like, I find this very cringe that he has to take me out to dinner first. And most of the time, I just found a guy that just like, oh, back in the days, maybe because he looked good, I went straight up to him. I just like, dude, you look fucking fantastic. I want to have you as a dessert tonight, kind of way, you know? And that was okay. That wasn't creepy back in the days. It's creepy now. It didn't always used to be creepy. It was much easier back in the days. But the world has changed and you can't do that anymore. So... No, you can't do that anymore. You could do that like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but you can't do that anymore. It's like, I want to have you as a dessert. Either I was interested in the guy because he looked fucking awesome, and I'm just like, okay, I am gonna approach him, or maybe he approaches me, and just like, all right. But dating has never been my thing, you know? Like, where you get to know each other, but you kind of do shit more like most of the time it's been like friends that I hung out with, and then later on you could just like, I think I like him more than a friend, right? Because I don't understand these like dating scenarios, and also like the demand that the guy always has and treat the woman. I don't know. I can take my hubby out for dinner and pay. I don't mind. I don't demand him paying for everything because he's a guy. I think that's also deranged. Why? And then women get like offended if the guy doesn't pay the bill on the dinner. Like, what the fuck kind of world is this? I'm also just speculating into what happened. Why is this like trending that women are crying on the internet that they can't find a guy anymore, and guys are going like, we don't want to be with a bunch of Karens, you know?